Hi, this is Kai Cheng Thom, and you're watching Ask Kai, Quick Tips for the Apocalypse, a series of short videos in which I'm answering your questions about how to survive and thrive in the middle of a quarantine. How do I know if I'm polyamorous? This is a really interesting question because it kind of comes down to what you believe about sexology and how sexuality develops. The less mainstream view, but like a pretty strong one among some members of the general community, is that polyamory is like a sexual orientation, in the sense that it is innate, part of our essential identity, and can't be changed. And I know quite a few people who feel this way about themselves. They're like, I'm poly, I'm attracted to multiple people at once, and it's really almost impossible for me to be with just one person at a time. There's a feeling inside of you that's like, you want to be with multiple people, and that's kind of what best serves your thriving and flourishing, which is, maybe different from someone who's like, I'm just experimenting with dating a lot of people to see how it feels, or I'm maybe dating a lot of people to avoid other issues. Polyamory and sexuality in general is like kind of like a spectrum that some people are more sexual than others, and in specific, some people are more inclined to need new and different experiences. If you don't kind of have a really strong feeling of like, I'm polyamorous and this is my identity or my orientation, but you're still kind of like, well, I might want to be polyamorous. Like I might not be getting everything I need from just one person. Then I would say, this question is less, is there something inside you that is essentially polyamorous, and much more like, well, you in this moment, in the context of your life, would you be happier being polyamorous, right? Is it something you want to explore? And, I would say that given good and ethical behavior, then yes, you can explore being polyamorous. You might feel more polyamorous, at this time in your life and not at all, maybe next year or a few years down the road. Maybe you're going to try it out and it just isn't right for you. The only way you can really know if it isn't a strong feeling is, I would say to, maybe date a lot of people. How do I talk to my partner about an open relationship? I would take stock of the context in which you find yourself. I would say that open relationships are rarely they are rarely well received when brought up to the partner that you're asking as like a solution to a problem, right? So like, I'm not gonna suggest going to your partner and saying, I don't like what I'm getting from you. I think I could get it from other places. Let's have an open relationship, right? Or, maybe I'm not getting enough from you. I'd like to get it from somewhere else. I would always frame it as, I have been thinking about myself, and I have some needs or curiosities that I'd like to explore, and our relationship is good in, all these ways that are true, and then say, and I'm curious about exploring these other options. I think it's really hard for us to get all of our needs met in one person. Like, that's the unhealthy thing about monogamy, is it sets up a myth that we can always get our needs met all the time by the same person. And so, it just could be that, you have a need that can't be met by your partner, but that's not about your partner. And I think that's key, making the distinction that your partner is not failing in some way, that your partner is good and solid and someone you love. That's something you want to remind them as you have that conversation. And just to be prepared for it to bring up feelings. You can be as kind and open and compassionate, as, a saint, and your partner might still be upset. And I would make space for that. It doesn't mean the conversation is closed necessarily. It might mean have the conversation in multiple installments over time, because love is messy, and that's what makes it great. That's it for this week, folks. Thanks so much for watching. This has been Ask Kai, Quick Tips for the Apocalypse. Stay safe, wash your hands, and don't play Animal Crossing. See you next week.